Hi guys, welcome to a one-off game here. We're doing a game of bolt action. This is the Ardennes. We've got some nice snowy battle mats. These are from Cigar Box Battles. We got a farm on the table. You may recognise that. That's a 15mm part of the Hougemont model I use for my 15mm Napoleonics, but the barn is so enormous it works all right for 28mm scenery. And we've got a few other bits of scattered village here. Charlie's put a scenario together for us today. Charlie, do you want to take us through the forces we've got for the game?
So for the Germans, you have a veteran unit of Panzer Grenadiers with STGs and basically an assault squads.
Yeah.
You have a regular squad of rifles and you have 2 LMGs. The small have 2 LMGs.
Yeah.
You've got a Hanomag.
Yeah.
Then you have 2 Volks Grenadier squads with just 1 LMG and the rifles.
Yeah.
That's 8 man, it's 10 man.
Have they got Panzerfausts in there?
Yeah, 2 Panzerfausts. Same for this squad, but that has only 1.
Right.
They have a Panther, a Stug, they're both regular.
Yep.
And then they have a support group, they're all regular. And they have a mortar and a medium machine gun.
Yep.
And for the Americans, they have 2 squads of rifles, they are 12 man.
Yep.
And they have a BAR and a Thompson in each one. Then they have a Jumbo Sherman and a Hellcat.
Yep.
A bazooka team Morton's platoon.
Yep.
Then they have an airborne platoon.
Yep.
And that's veteran.
Yep.
And it has in each squad they have 1 Browning machine gun, a BAR and a Thompson.
Yep.
And they have a bazooka team as well, that's
Okay.
veteran. And then they have a support group and they're regular, which is a medium machine gun.
Excellent. Cool. And what's the scenario, Charlie?
So we can roll for that in a second.
Okay. We'll come back with that in a sec. Right, Charlie, so what's the scenario now you've rolled up?
So the Americans will deploy in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
And they have to hold the crossroads, and the Germans are coming from everywhere.
All right.
They're coming from all the table edges.
Cool. So I deploy first and then you deploy from the table edge?
Yeah.
So
Well, I start off the table.
right,
That's
cool.
all.
All right. I guess am I doing the Americans or the Germans?
You can do the Americans.
All right. I'll do the deployment. Yeah, and I'll get the figures out, and then we'll see what that looks like. Right. So the Americans have completed deployments. Deploying when you've got an all-round attack is always difficult because you're going to expose your flanks to some opportunity or another. But anyway, this is how we've gone. So for the southern side of the map, we've got our veteran units. So we've got an airborne unit occupying this farm. That should be a pretty strong position. We've also put our mortar team in there, which gives it some cover from the beginning of the game. So that shouldn't be able to be fired on straight away. We've parked our Jumbo Sherman, so it's protected at least to a degree by that hedge and the end of this building and is covering off from threats from that east flank. We put another squad of airborne on the edge of these woods. They'll move into the woods to take a defensive position there. They're supported by their machine gun team. We've got our mortar spotter in this building in the centre of the table. Good all-round views for its mortar fire. We've hidden the Hellcat in the edge of the woods here, so it should survive longer than turn 1. Its armour is paper thin, so if someone sneaks up on that, that's a goner, so it's hiding in the woods. And then our regular platoons are holding the northern flank. We've got 1 up against that building, and this squad are aiming to deploy into the building and hold or support the holding of the eastern side. All right, that's it for initial deployment. The Germans come in with their first move of the turn, so we'll load up the dice bag and see what happens. All right, so next 2 moves, the American squad that was in this middle of the field moved up against the hedge line and into that building, and in response, a Panther has appeared on their flank. I assume it's going to open fire at that infantry, or is it also firing at the Sherman?
Fire at Sherman as well.
All right, okay, it's going to fire at the Sherman. It's also just a regular unit, isn't it? Yeah. So it needs a 5 to hit. No, misses. Clang. That Sherman is certainly feeling paranoid. 2 German tanks firing at it. All right, on we go. All right, 3 more moves for the Germans. So the Volks Grenadiers have moved up in support of the Panther, and part of the support company, a machine gun team, has moved up in support of the Stug. All of these figures are all painted by Charlie, aren't they? The You've done quite a lot of conversions, haven't you, Charlie? Or quite a lot of mixers, figures from different packs. What sort of things have you used to make up these various different units?
So to make these Panzer Grenadiers, I got the Fallschirmjäger box.
Yeah.
And stuck some of the regular German helmets from the German Winter Army box.
Yeah.
So I just made some Panzer Grenadiers because I'd rather them to Fallschirmjäger.
Yeah.
Because I want them to basically be used more together. Then for the Americans,
Yeah.
for the airborne, I basically did the same thing. Got the airborne head and stuck them on to the brown coated.
So the winter uniformed Americans, so you could have paras in winter uniform. Ah, that's a good idea.
And some mixed troops, and then I also made some Fallschirmjäger. They're not in the game, but because I had another box of Americans, I wasn't really using too much of some brown coated, so I made them into Fallschirmjäger by sticking some leftover Fallschirmjäger heads onto the Americans.
All right, cool. And they all look quite good?
Yeah, because the Americans and Germans have basically the same coats.
Yeah, same overcoats. Yeah. That's a good idea. All right, cool. Let's do some more movement. Who's the next dice, Charlie?
Americans.
All right, we'll do some American movement. I think I'm going to move those airborne in that farmyard. All right, so the Americans deployed their infantry so they could take up defensive positions around that farm, and then the mortars opened fire. The spotter, who's in this building in the middle, spotted these German infantry moving up, so we're going to open fire against the one that's the closest threat. We need a 6 to hit. 5, close, but not quite. All right, given both of Charlie's tanks are fired, I'm going to now take the Hellcat out of cover. And as I say, you have to be really careful with this unit. It doesn't take the slightest thing to knock it out. It's moved out. It does have a special move, being a tank hunter, a tank destroyer. It can move back into cover at the end of the game term. Yeah, it counts as a recce unit. All right, it's going to open fire. It needs a 5 to hit the Stug. Knocks a tree over, but only gets a 1. All right, I'll need to remember to move him back into cover, otherwise he'll be an easy target for that Stug next turn. All right, so German movement's completed. Another unit of Panzer Grenadiers have come on in support of the Stug. And we rolled for these Volksgrenadiers. So you roll for them first time, then they come under fire, and they've actually come out as regulars. So it's a pretty good result for Charlie. This unit have yet to be fired at, so we don't know what their status will be. All right, we'll complete the American movement, and that'll be the end of the first. Okay, so this squad of Americans has moved forward slightly into the rocks on the edge of that position, and they're opening fire against the Volksgrenadiers who moved up at support Panther. Because we need 5s to hit. We only roll 1. We've got 3 more extra dice because they get an extra shot for each rifle section of 3 figures. That does a bit better. That gets 2 more hits. So that's 3 hits, needing 3s to wound because you're raw. Only one kill or 1 save because they've got light cover. One killed and 1 pin on that unit. Right, Americans get first move, and before this Sherman is completely hammered by all the fire coming in against it, it is going to open fire. It's going to have a go against the Panther. At least it's got its thicker armour facing towards the Panther. Do you think there's a side shot there, Charlie, or is it a frontal shot?
For what?
I think for the Panther it's a side shot.
Yeah.
So they will rotate slightly to bring their frontal arc to bear. So it will be a 5 to hit because the Sherman's moved. We get a 1. I don't think he's going to last very long. They're still in shock for being surrounded. All right, next dice, Charlie. Another American dice. What shall we do? I think we'll open fire with this unit down here. I don't think much is going to happen to them. So they will open fire against the Volksgrenadiers in the hedge line. Again, needing 4s this time because we haven't moved.
Still a terrible roll.
Terrible roll, but I get 3 more dice for my rifle ability, which doesn't do anything. 3s to wound. We should be hammering this squad. We cause 2 wounds, and neither of them are protected by the cover. So there's 2 more dead and another pin on that Volksgrenadier. All right, the Americans have activated yet again. We're really lucky, 3 activations in a row. This unit are going to open up against these Volksgrenadiers, so there'll be 5 more dice after this set. Another horrendous round of shooting. These recruits, these must be raw American troops. And then 5 more, perhaps they're from the 99th Infantry Division, which really struggled in the Ardennes. All right, 3 more hits.
These need 4s.
These need 4s because you're regulars, aren't you?
Yeah.
Only 2 hits, 2 saves for light cover, needing 5s. Save 1. One killed, and another pin, or a pin on that unit. A lot of firing by the Americans, but none of it proving very effective.
All the rifles first.
Okay, so these Panzer Grenadiers are opening up against the American paras in that building.
So these are the rifles first.
Okay.
They get 3 hits.
Okay.
And no wounds, but a pin.
Okay.
And then these are the machine guns. 4 hits and 1 wound.
Okay.
Save a 4+.
No. That's not very much firing. Did you only have 2 machine guns and 2 rifles?
No, I had 2 machine guns and 5 rifles.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, cool. All right. The Americans hold.
Stug.
Okay.
The Stug will fire.
What are you going to
Actually,
fire
no,
at?
no, I'm going to fire
The machine
the
gun
machine
team
gun
against
because
the
they can
Americans.
still, the Americans
Fire.
can still fire
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, good idea. And the Germans get an extra dice, do they, for their machine guns?
Yeah, Barsaw. So 3 hits, 2 wounds. That's a lot better.
And what's my save for being in hardcover? 4+.
Yeah.
1 dead and another pin. Okay.
I went down for everything.
Yeah, so the American paras, despite being veteran, managed to roll a 5 and 6. So they failed their morale. They were looking to return fire against the Panzer Grenadiers. So they have to take a morale test to escape from the pinning. They have not escaped from the pinning. The amount of firepower coming in from the Panzer Grenadiers has kept them pinned in that building. So no return fire from the Americans. Right, so the Volksgrenadiers, who are under both mortar fire and rifle fire from this American squad, are going to be firing back.
Yeah, probably last time I'm going to stay there. So this is the MG and the SMG. Gets 2 hits and two wounds.
Okay.
And the rifles, same shots. Another 2 wounds, so 4 wounds and 1 pin.
And I'm in hard cover, yeah?
Yeah.
Or am I in soft cover?
You're...
I'll say half are in soft and half are in hard. So these are the ones in soft cover. No, and these are the ones in hard cover. Save 1, lose 3. Which has just got that the wrong way around. So 3 American riflemen done. Alright, so Panthers opening fire. What are you firing at? Sherman again? Needing 4s to hit this time. All the tank crews need to be fired. None of them doing very well. Next dice, Charlie.
Germans.
You still got your Hanomag, and you got your mortar to fire as well.
Yeah, these are the last activations. So the mortar will fire.
And Charlie's spotter is this guy concealed on the hill. We have a house rule that spotters can't be fired at because we work on the basis they find a good position to hide themselves away, don't we, Charlie?
So the mortar is going to fire against these guys up here because they're quite an issue for my Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Misses. The mortar. Americans.
Okay.
I think another you might.
M10 is going to come out of the woods and see the Panther this time and have a go at shooting the Panther with the Hellcat. Needing a 5. It misses. Continuing all the tank fire. I think that's my last activation of the turn.
So I'll just move my Hanomag.
Okay.
The Hanomag is going to move across into the woods, start going here.
I'm not sure that the Hanomag can move through woods. Too difficult. You can dismount the infantry and move them through the woods, or you can move it on the road.
Yeah, I'll dismount.
You could drive up and do a shot-in assault if you want. Right, so here we are at the end of turn 2. So the tank destroyer did its end of turn movement. It didn't go back into the woods this turn. It's hidden itself behind this building. That's because, although quite how it knows it, I'm not sure. Must have had a radio call from the airborne in that building down here. But Charlie's dismounted his Panzer Grenadiers from his Hanomag. As we were just saying, can't really move the Hanomag through the woods. The terrain would be too difficult. So Panzer Grenadiers are dismounted, and with all those Panzerfausts in there, the Hellcat doesn't fancy his chances. It might well still get hit with a Panzerfaust shot if they move up next turn. All right, that's it for turn 2. So we've got the Panther still threatening on this flank. These Volksgrenadiers quite exposed, exchanging fire with my regular Americans. one of my para squads holding off effectively the whole of this German assault. If Charlie can take out my 2 tanks with his Panzerfaust and his Panther, this is going to swing the Germans' way. But let's see what happens as we move into turn. Okay, so the Americans pulled the first dice. Will they yet again miss? The Sherman is opening up again against the Panther. And it misses yet again. He deserves to get brewed up. He's definitely going to be replaced. All right, Charlie, next dice.
Germans.
Are you going to fire the Panther back, or are you going to fire the Stug against the rear of the Panther?
No, I'm going to advance them.
All right, and then do some Panzerfausts. Do the Panzerfausts fire every turn, or are they just a one shot?
I think they're a one shot. I'll go and check.
Because you might not want to fire them on 5s.
One point blank. I might be point
All
blank.
right,
So
yeah, that's true.
it'll be fine.
All right, so Charlie's firing his Panzerfausts. We think they're one-shot weapons, but he's going to fire them anyway, and we'll check that afterwards. They're at point-blank range, so they'll be hitting on 2s normally, but 3s.
Yeah, it's one shot.
It's a one-shot, so he's got 2 goes at hitting this Hellcat in the rear.
Hits them both.
He gets 2 hits. That does not bode well.
So the
The
rear-
armour of the Hellcat, I remember, is 7.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
So +6, so I'll be hitting everything but 1. But 'cause I'm rear, I think I'll be everything but 1 still.
Yeah.
So I hit them both. Both
Both penetrate. Both devastating. Probably the end of my vehicle. 2 and a 3.
So that's nothing. That won't kill it. But with devastating, you get another. Why? Very sure. Yeah, you get 2 more. So 2 more dice. Kills it.
Right.
Pretty close to not killing it.
Pretty close to not killing it, but it's dead. That's my best unit, or I don't know whether it's my best unit. It's my favourite unit. I love the tank destroyer, and the way it can jump out of cover and take a shot feels really characterful. But 2 Panzerfausts in the rear don't do it. All right, I've lost 1. Panzerfausts doing damage. Stug's got a shot now. It's firing against the rear of the Sherman. It misses as well. This tank fire is terrible. Clearly, anti-tank weapons are the way to go. Oh, we got another one. Panther's going to have a go. Can it do better? It also needs a 4. It misses as well. I think that's 3 1s for our 3 tank shots this turn. All right, the Sherman lives to fight another day. The battle is not quite over. Another German activation, or American activation. I'm going to hit you with my mortar before you move.
Oh, you can see if your bazooka's nearby.
No, I'm going to fire my mortar because I can always do the bazooka later.
Yeah.
Yes. It misses. You have a chance to escape with the Volksgrenadiers. Do you want to pop that activation next to the mortar team?
Yeah.
These Americans will open fire against those Panzergrenadiers behind the hedge. Oh, I nearly failed their activation, but they didn't. All right, so Charlie's gone down. They've taken a lot of firepower. I need forced wound.
Yeah.
But I only do 3 wounds, 3 saves, soft cover.
So these are 3+, I think. Yeah.
Oh, because you've gone down.
Yeah. So 1 dead.
1 dead and a pin. But unfortunately, they now stay under mortar fire.
Yeah,
and I'll
I'm
be
gonna
hitting on
try
3s next time.
Hopefully, I'm lucky next time.
And get to activate first, if you remember. All right, next activation.
German.
All right, so there's been a lot of firing down here. We now got 4 pins on our airborne. The German heavy machine gun and the Hanomag have opened fire. I don't think this squad behind the building have fired yet, have they, Charlie?
No.
No, so they haven't fired, but we've now got 4 pins on our airborne. Our machine gun team returned fire against the Germans, but caused no casualties, did cause a pin on them. Down here, the American squad in this building is much more effective. The vulnerability of green troops really showing. They did some really good firing with 12 men of their squad here, and this Volksgrenadier squad is now reduced to just 1 man who did survive his morale check. I think if I was him, I'd be running away, but he's hanging in there. All right, any more activations, Charlie?
I've got a few.
Okay, so this squad's taken a bit of pounding. Charlie's mortar zeroed in and killed 3, and this lone guy with his MG42 killed another one. So 3 casualties this turn on that squad. Still, we're looking all right from this direction. The Sherman is still holding the Panther off as we head into turn 4. But the Panzergrenadiers are starting to sweep towards that objective and the crossroads in the centre. We'll have to move our reserve squad in this building potentially out to face them. All right, let's move on to turn 4. All right, so you've got, so these Volksgrenadiers have moved down this hedge line, exchanging fire with the Americans. They've got 9 guys there, Charlie.
So
You've got 1 machine gun in there?
Yeah.
And 1 submachine gun.
So these are the machine gun and the
Submachine
SMG. Oh, I'm going to vote again. The SMGs go separate because it hits on the forwards because it doesn't matter if they move.
Yeah.
SMG gets 1 hit.
Yeah.
Machine gun gets 3 hits. Basically the same as the rolling knife. And the wounding, no wounds.
Okay.
And then the rifles.
Yeah.
2 hits and a wound.
And save a 4+, which they don't make. So another guy killed from that squad. All right, so given that's that squad, we're on a 3+ hit from the mortar next turn. They were the priority for Charlie to move, but he's now got another activation. Can we get the 5th one in a row for our Panther shots?
Hits.
He hits, he gets a 6, is
yeah.
that? Okay, hits the Sherman. Can he penetrate?
So,
what's the Sherman's armour?
So it was 9.
Right, and the power of the Panther's gun?
It's +7.
Okay, so you need a 3 to penetrate.
Penetrates with 4.
Okay.
So it's just normal penetration.
Yeah.
It's on fire.
Alright,
so you
okay.
armor check with 2 pins.
A 9.
So it's a 10, so they bail, so it goes on fire.
Okay, so it's on fire and abandoned. Both of the American tanks are knocked out. This does not bode well. Very much reliant now on my bazooka teams to keep this German armour. Right, so seeing the devastating effect of the Panther on my poor Sherman, my bazooka team has moved forward across those hedges, although it's got to move across 2 hedges, hasn't he, Charlie? So he's had to run.
He'll still be in range if advance. Because he
Okay.
just goes to here and he's still in range.
Okay, so he's going to go behind the first hedge and he is going to open fire. He needs a 5 to hit the Panther.
Yeah, still in range.
He hits the Panther.
So-
Panther has got light cover, I imagine.
And it's got hard frontal armour, so it's going to be harder.
So penetration, we get a 6.
Probably penetrates. 6. Yep, penetrates. So save a 5+ though, because of the hedgerow.
Yeah.
It'd be fun if the hedgerow stops it.
No,
Right.
I don't know whether we ought to check whether
I
cover
don't think it
effects. And
It's
a
gone.
6. Wow, well done, bazooka team. So it's perhaps not all over for the Americans, although I think it is. But they've got some retribution here. Brave bazooka man moves up and knocks out the Panther. Great shot, guys. All right, that's one threat to the American position wiped out. Okay, next activation, Charlie.
At least my Panther did something.
It did.
That's not very common for our vehicles.
All right, so this squad, we're not gonna open fire against that one remaining guy. We're gonna go open fire against these Panther Grenadiers. Let's try and advance. Let's see what we get. Oh my God, we've rolled a 12. That is Fuvar, isn't it, Charlie? So what do I have to do? Is it just 1 dice?
Yeah.
We roll a 6. It usually means we shoot our own men. That's what I usually do.
So it's panic. So they
Right.
just run 12 inches.
Okay, run 12 inches, and they're fleeing, are they?
Yeah, probably just not
It could be
permanently.
towards the
Middle.
that farm, I think,
Yeah.
because that's the safest bit of the American position. All right, they run. Great position now for the Americans. We got another activation. I think we're going to have to fire our mortar, which we haven't fired yet. Could you put the activation on the mortar, please, Charlie? We will fire against the machine gun team at the end of the road, because that's one of the few units we can see with our spotter. And we roll a 3, so we don't hit. But if you could put a smoke counter near the machine gun team, so remember they've had their first shot against them. All right, next activation, Charlie.
Germans. So
Your Panzer Grenadiers could move to the edge of woods and just mow me down.
yeah.
I think this is probably what he's going to do.
But I don't
All
know
right,
if
I'll let
it's
him
20
move.
inches.
All right, yeah, so they're opening up with their automatic rifles. Oh, yeah, they are just in range. So all in range for their automatic rifles. Have they got any machine guns in that squad? Or is it all
That's,
automatic
as
rifles?
they're called, the Death Squad.
It is the death squad because they get so many shots. Do they have
So-
any machine guns in there?
Yeah, 2 LMGs.
2 LMGs and the rest are automatic rifles. This will hurt. And you firing at the squad that's now out in the open.
Yeah, so firing the LMGs first.
Okay. Needing 5s.
Yeah. 5 hits.
Okay.
That's very good roll. And 3 dead.
Okay, and another pin. Dice next to them, and 3 dead. And
I
then
need to
the
roll-
automatic rifles, these hit on 4s, don't
Yeah,
they?
I need to roll 6 more dice after this.
Okay. Not a great shot.
4 hits. Only 1 dead.
Okay.
I need these last 6 shots to really help me here. 4 hits. Yeah, 3 more dead.
So 4 more dead, so I'm down to my last man, which is less than my pins, so he flees and breaks. All right, Charlie's been piling fire again into my airborne unit in this building. The Panzer Grenadiers across the road from them, the machine gun team and the Hanomag have all fired. They've now got 4 pins. Charlie's now firing with the Stug. The HE might cause that unit to break by putting more pins on them than they've got firing. It hits.
So
how many pins does it do?
It's got 1 pin for hit. Wait, I don't. Wait. HE2.
Okay, so does that mean 2 pins?
I think it's D2 pins.
Right, so if you roll a 2, you've broken the unit. Subject to any casualties, you might have broken it. Subject to any casualties, anyway.
Yeah. So I do 2 pins.
Right. So they're up to 6. How many figures have they got left?
5.
They've only got 5,
Yeah,
so they're
5.
broken, aren't they? Do your casualties on them.
And then it's. Okay. So I can use the small counter thing.
Okay, you
Probably
get
only hit 2
2 of them, yeah.
So 1 dead.
Okay, so they're definitely broken. So another American unit falls to this German assault. Right, it was we've just lost the bazooka team. Charlie's mortar rolled a 6, so it hit them. Was that the first shot on them? It was, because you were firing at the squad before, weren't you? So bazooka team have just been killed. So we've lost the airborne, the bazooka team, and this infantry squad in this turn. We lost our Sherman as well, and at the end of last turn we lost the Hellcat, so we've lost 5 units in basically 1 turn of movement. So there's not a lot left to resist this German assault. I've still got my machine gun team to open fire, so it'll fire at that German machine gun team. Pretty good firing from them, 5 hits, they've got no pins on them, 4 hits rather. And 3 wounds on the machine gun team.
It's gone.
So the machine gun team is gone. First, I think that's the first casualty other than the Panther for the Germans. All right, turn 5. Looks like we're heading to a remorseless conclusion. Right, so the Panzer Grenadiers are down here, have opened fire against what was my heavy machine gun team, and they have wiped it out. Again, this remorseless German advance continues. You're going to
charge them.
You're going to charge them. All right.
I should win. It's just your spotting your officer.
Yeah, he's charging and will be occupying the building and the crossroads, which is the objective of the game. All right, it's a disaster. It's all over. The Americans, the Paras, are fleeing through the back gate of the farm. The squad that was in this building has been wiped out. That's a combination of firing from the Stug. It moved up, fired HE, it hit. Unlike all of its other previous shots, HE shell went into that building, caused a number of casualties, and then the German squad opposite also opened up, did well with its firing, killed off the rest of that unit. And as the Americans retreat, one last parting shot. Their bazooka team for the Paras is going to open up at the Stug. Let's see if they can do a vengeful final shot. They can't. In line with much of the rest of the American firing, they roll a 1. That's it for the game. The Americans are wiped out. The crossroads is captured. The Panzer Grenadiers are intact. The Stug's intact. The Volksgrenadiers have taken the bulk of the German losses. But really, when you look at the losses on the other side of the table, we've lost pretty much 3 complete American squads and both their armoured vehicles to 1 squad and a couple of casualties for the Germans. Great victory, Charlie. Well done. I hope you've enjoyed this game of bolt action. See you again next time.